I sold the Tesla and I bought an old beater Toyota Camry. And in this video, I just want to talk about why exactly you should buy old beater cars and how it can help change your life. So I used to have a brand new Tesla and they got me. What ended up what happened was, right, they were running a financing deal at the end of the year where it was 0%. So, I saw, oh my God, a brand new Tesla, 0%. I wouldn't have to pay any interest, okay? And once again, that is great. But you have to remember, even though you're getting 0% interest, you're going to buy like a $40,000 car, and you're still going to have a $500, $600 monthly payment. So, right, what I ended up doing was getting out of that monthly payment. Oh, here, speaking of the Tesla, driving by, right, I wanted to get out of that, $500 payment plus high, insurance cost. I had Tesla insurance, but it was still like, I don't know, $200 a month. And I wanted to get out of that because I wanted to increase, right, my monthly cash flow budget, right, the amount of money that I could spend per month or invest, right? So, right, with buying a used car, I was able to get this one off of Facebook Marketplace. I literally got it for $2,000. It was a steal. Ended up going on Facebook Marketplace. I found this woman. Her sister passed away. She was trying to get rid of the car quickly, and she sold it to me. I mean, it does have 200,000 miles on it, but besides that, it was in great condition, right? And that allowed me to save, right, over $500 a month on a car payment, but also, right, $200 on insurance, because since this is an old beater car, all I had to do was get the liability insurance for this, which is like cheap. It's like $90 to $100 a month. So that cut down my insurance cost as well. So not only am I saving, right, a bunch of money per month, okay, just on a cash flow monthly budget basis, I'm able to invest more, okay? So, some of that money goes into the long-term portfolio we have. Some of that money goes into an emergency fund. Some of that money goes into a Roth IRA. So, right, being able to, save money, not only can I have more money during the month to, buy things, save money, but also invest. And that's the key, because I came with a video on this channel called, how to invest for the long term, or, start the long-term portfolio. And one of the topics I discussed in that video was making sacrifices for your future, cutting down your expenses to be able to invest, right? One of the principles that we have here is save 10% of every dollar you touch. Your income, 10%. And many people go, well, Rob, how am I supposed to save 10%, and invest it when I got all these bills and this and that? Well, you have to make sacrifices. Now, one of the things I did, right, was sell the Tesla to get rid of that monthly payment, lower my insurance costs, so that way I could buy more real estate. Because what it does is, right, when you have anything financed, it increases your debt to income, right? How much debt you have based on your income, and that affects how much a lender is willing to lend you money, okay? So the less debt you have relative to your income, the more money they can lend you. So that's another factor. But you just have to get your expenses under control, create a monthly budget, right? Know what's coming in, know what's coming out, right? And, don't get sucked into the big thing like car payments, right? Don't, be house poor and buy a house that is, too expensive, right? That you don't need, right? The mortgage is killing your monthly budget, right? So I wanted to create this video because I wanted to tell people that everybody should go out and buy a used car, okay? Buy a used car on Facebook Marketplace or something, or, right, get a good deal and save yourself out of these car payments, okay? They're just traps, right? I financed my Tesla at 0%, which is great because you don't have to pay any interest, but it was still a 5-year loan paying like $560 a month. So there's that. I mean, most people, when they finance a car, they have to pay interest too. So you're paying money on top, right, just for getting that loan. A lot of the times, they're also getting scammed by dealerships because they're going to a dealership buying a car and they're charging them more than what they should be paying. So you're better off, right? Get an old reliable car like a Toyota here. This Toyota Camry V6 engine, right? Get a Honda Civic, right? Toyota Prius, right? Cars that have high gas mileage, you spend less money on gas, right? Do your research, on what engines, which cars are reliable, which ones, are good prices, right? Once you start this process, you have to learn, the prices of the market and what, is going to be a good deal. So for me, I went on Facebook Marketplace and I saw this one posted for $2,000. And I went up to the girl, I said, why is it, so low? Is something wrong with this car? Nope, just her sister passed away. She wanted to get it off the property, right? She wanted to move on from that. And I was able to snag this deal. So, short story, what am I trying to say? Short story short? I don't know, something like that. But I ended up selling the Tesla that you guys might have seen in the videos, right? I got that car, it was awesome. But you know what's even better, right? Having more money to buy real estate and stocks, okay? Because that's going to create financial independence, make you wealthy, make you rich, and be able to change your life. So, many people ask me, well, how's the car holding up, right? You bought this car, and, what about the maintenance? What about the repairs, okay? You might be saving less on a car payment, but you might be paying more per month, just to fix things. Well, cars like these are really reliable, and since they made so many of these cars, there's a lot of supply of, aftermarket parts. So, right, when I first got the car, one of the things that happened was the radiator, right, was so old. So one day, right, during this snowstorm, the radiator blew up, but I was able to replace the radiator from this website called Rock Auto. That's where I got the part. And it was literally $100, right, just to get the part. And I have a local mechanic buddy, right, who charged me $100 to put it in. So that's $200, to get a part, get it replaced, that, on a more expensive car, would have cost more. So the cars like this, able to get aftermarket parts for really cheap. And, that's gonna save you, because you definitely don't want to buy, a car that has a lot of problems. You got to put a lot of money into it. So that's what I'm saying. Do your research. Get out of those finance cars. Stop financing things, right? Get rid of your bad debt. And, that's going to help you be able to buy real estate. Like I always preach on here, right? Once you guys start the long-term portfolio and you start saving, you'll be able to leverage that long-term portfolio, because you will sell it, right, to buy real estate. We don't sell the long-term portfolio to buy stupid shit like Louis Vuitton bags and shoes, but we will trade up. We will sell our stocks, right, to go buy real estate. But one of the key factors is your debt to income ratio. And, right, if you have bad debt, like car, it could hinder your ability to get a loan, okay, from a mortgage lender, or it's going to affect how much you can actually get. So, guys, that's what I have for you on this video. I wanted to kind of, talk about, I sold the Tesla and why, and the importance of good debt versus bad debt, and, kind of how to do it. So that's what I have for you guys. But here's the beautiful Camry. Don't care about what other people think of you. Stop trying to buy things to impress people, right? It's not about the car. It's about the man in the car. Always remember that. So that's what I got for you. Peace out.